but why? That's not fair. They both work so hard. They're both working 50 hours. Why? Because one has a credential in a more profitable industry. So not all industries are made the same. Not all careers are made the same. And it's not just about working harder. You're right, it's about working smarter. No, it's not. It's about working in a more profitable industry. Yes. You can give the same 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 hours a week part-time that you do to Uber, Lyft, real estate, online, Amazon, drop shipping, crypto, day trading, or... Some people do some funny stuff online without their clothes nowadays, right? I'm not a fan, I'm just saying, right? True story. I'm talking to I'm doing a recruiting interview with a kindergarten teacher. And a kindergarten teacher. This is 3 weeks ago. I said, so hey, I hear you want to make more money. She's like, yeah, I want to make more money. I said, why do you want to make more money? She's like, because things are expensive. I said, great. What's your plan outside of this conversation? If I don't accept you to the office, if we don't bring you aboard, what's your plan outside of this to go make money? Real estate, Uber, Lyft? She said, OnlyFans.
That's crazy.
Come with me to church on Sunday. So I'm sitting there asking him, what do I got to do for this license? He says, you got to drop $500 on a state license in this industry because we're in the most profitable industry in America. I said, okay, I got to get a credential in a more profitable industry because I'm in the nonprofit space, no problem. He says, the second thing you got to do is you got to pass a test. Now here's the thing that's cool about California. In California, the test is 90 questions. It's multiple choice. You don't even have to get a C. If you get a D, you pass. How many of y'all are fired up about that? You got some smiles out of people who weren't smiling all day. You're like, yeah. I don't know about you, but I was no summa duma huma booma ruma cum laude. I wasn't valedictorian. Who in the room, you were not the top of the class in high school, college, or whatever, you were not the valedictorian? How many of y'all were like the smartest person in the room? You were the top of the class.
What's up?
I was number 1 in PE. So for me, when I heard, wait, I gotta get a D, how many of y'all, if you came home with a C or a D, your parents would have ground you? Yeah, well now the state will give you a license in the most profitable industry. So this is good news for some of you. How many of y'all feel like you could do better than a D in a 90-question multiple choice test? Like you could figure that piece out. So he said, wait, if I go take my Visa, Master, American Express credit card, I give the state $500, I do my fingerprints, my background check, I get a D on a test, you'll give me a license in the most profitable industry? We're sitting at dinner, my buddy's making $400,000. He says, yes. I said, I'm gonna have a license. I'm gonna have no idea what to do with it. What do I do? He says, you've gotta come to training. I said, what's training? How many of y'all have ever thought about either going back to school, back to college, community college, online college, a YouTube university, or some other trade school, or doing something to retool, re-educate yourself, right? Yeah. So he says, instead of doing all that and paying all this stuff for tuition, come to our office, like the one here in Montebello, is come to the office, and on Tuesday evenings at 7 o'clock and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m., part-time, outside your job, I'm gonna show you how to use your license in the most profitable industry. And so I was like, that's it? He says, that's it. So I kept a full-time job because it was paying my bills. But I started doing this, financial, at the very least, get me out of debt. Maybe make some extra money, right? But then I was wondering what some of you are wondering, well, how do you guys get your clients? Is this like cold calling? Is this door knocking? We do no cold calling, nor door knocking, no buying leads. How many of y'all are okay with that? Yeah. No cold calling, nor door knocking, no buying leads. I was like, shoot! Well then, Andrew, how do you get your clients? I'm so glad you asked. So I ask people all the time, why would I knock on your door? Because in LA, I might get shot. Why would I knock on your door when I could slide into your pocket because you're on this thing 6 hours a day?
Yeah.
Who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Why would I cold call you when you're like, probably spam, block? Who's ever gotten a probably spam?
Yeah.
We got 90 of them a day. Why would I cold call you when I could just slide into your thumb? How many of y'all ever found yourself watching videos on YouTube, online, social media about something, or it's like people who bought this also bought this on Amazon? You've like made decisions about purchasing things online, right? So for me, I said, wait, everything is social media word of mouth? Because everything is social media word of mouth. No door knocking, no call calling, but no. No sales quotas, no. I don't have to clock in, clock out, like I don't have to be here every day at a certain time, no. I can avoid LA traffic. I mean, I'll be glad about that one, right? He says, show up Tuesday, show up Saturday. What do you think I did? Dropped $500, got my license, I got better than a D, and I showed up Tuesday and Saturday. What happened on a part-time basis?